Well, as Mark Parrish talked about, they got off to a great start, and it was forechecking, skating, putting pressure on Atlanta in their own zone, and eventually Mark Parrish, with his third goal of the season, give the Islanders a 1-0 lead. But then the Islanders also did some good things in their own zone. Defensively, they made some quality plays, including that one in front of the net by Yanni Niinimaa, not allowing the Thrashers player to get to the loose puck. And then Rick DiPietro wasn't tested all that much, and when he was right there to make a great save.
Parrish and DiPietro, two keys to the Islanders' 1-0 lead after one. Recovered by Blake, and he gets it out of there. They'll pick up that Atlanta power play. Tremblay back on the point with Kovalchuk, Santala, Kozlov, and the blue line hanging Savard. The rest of the Atlanta five-man unit. Nice move, Kovalchuk. Feeds the blue line to Kozlov. Centering feed deflects. Kovalchuk has it, cuts in front. Didn't get the shot to the net, but he got the puck back. Not Kovalchuk, shoved by O'Coin. Blake helping out. Islanders get it back, but Janssen doesn't clear. Santala now moving to the net. Put it through the slot, covered by Blake, and he just does nudge it out.
Yep. Pardon me, Howie. That might have been Michael Pekka that came back on Kovalchuk to help on the defensive end.
Santala put it right through the goal mouth, and Blake is there to reverse the puck. But Tremblay keeps it in. Now for Savard. Mark Savard to Kozlov in the corner. Tremblay drifts back, takes the pass, lets it go, save, juggle again, and he holds on. We've seen that a few times now from DiPietro, juggling those long shots.
Yeah, he did a better job there, though, of keeping the puck in front of him. He deadened it a little more than he did a little bit earlier. With big number 24, Santala, the Finnish player, in front trying to get position, and DiPietro is able to hold on to the puck.
Islanders with a shots advantage that's creeping a little closer as the Thrashers continue to come on here in the second.
They're a much better team here in the second. They've got more jump. They have forced the Islanders to take a couple of penalties because of their skating.
Now Kovalchuk weaving his way through center. Pietro cuts it off, poked it away from Petrovitsky while Hammerlick was trying to stay with him. And now Kavasha powers ahead. Bates has gone to the net. Kavasha looks for him, but it was broken up by Tremblay. And the Thrashers recover, getting into close quarters before Robitaille brings it along. Piros trying to squeeze away from Niinimaa. They bump in the corner. Piros goes down. Pekka grabs the puck, 14 to the Atlanta power play. Pekka strolling to center. Nudges one on the right wing for Blake. He cuts in. Around the net. Gets the backhander off. A save made. And then Nurminen got a piece of that rebound attempt by Blake. Put it off the boards. Cairns slaps it back in behind. Skechard's out of the box. And the team's at full sprint. Thrashers had two shots on that power play. Butenschan to Cairns. Lets it go. He scores! Eric Cairns let it go from just inside the blue line. May have been redirected. Either way, the Islanders lead it 2-1.
Oh, it was a perfect shot by Cairns, and I believe Jason Blake is going to get credit for it. Blake is right in front. Look at the shot, nice and low, and there's Blake. I believe Blake just gets a piece of it to put it underneath the goaltender. Here it is again. Now, it looks like he got a piece of it, and the Islanders take the lead. But what penalty killing by Blake and Pekka. They almost scored a shorthanded goal, and then when the Islanders finally get back to even strength, they scored a goal to take the lead.
Eric Cairns in the corner now in the Atlanta zone. Under pressure. And it's back at the Atlanta blue line. Exelby for Aubin. There is Aubin for Stefan. Looking up at the Islander line. Ugier got it back for Atlanta. Butenschan dumped it out. Now Skechard locked up with Exelby. They go hard to the corner. Weimer had the stick knocked out of his hands by Stefan. In fact, it broke. And for now, they give the goal to Eric Cairns, set up by Butenschan. Cairns doesn't get many. Versary wiffle ball.
Some of us still do.
Niinimaa with a shot, and that's blocked. And out come the Thrashers. Nudged in by Vigier. DiPietro spins it around. He got it past Santala. Parrish was there. Tamer couldn't move it ahead, so Niinimaa chips it deep. Now Blake took a hit from Tamer, got it around the boards. It was missed by Parrish. Sergio Ban, number 10, hemmed in by Pekka. And DiPietro comes out. A handoff to Niinema, who's double teamed. So he moves it quickly. But Vigier has it back. Now for Stirling. He drifts back, sends it in front, recovered, and Vigier is denied by DiPietro.
You saw that last shot by Santala. Big Finnish player. He said, I've got to learn to lift the puck. He said, too many of my shots aren't getting through because I keep it right along the ice.
Now here's Pekka to the corner with Blake. Pekka gives him a little pick. So Blake tries to feed the slot. Couldn't reach Tchaikovsky with the Islanders looking to change. And Kozlov dumps it in. Islanders now getting the rest of the Yashin line on. That's why Tchaikovsky was on the ice with the puck in the corner in the Atlanta zone. Down to 2:20 remaining in the second period. Islanders with a 2-1 lead. The teams have traded goals here in the second.
And Bob Hartley makes a change. He's got the Savard line with 2 minutes left to go out against the Yashin line. The Savard line's been their best line. Along with Kozlov on one side, McEachran on the other. They've been able to put some good pressure on the Islanders in this period.
Islanders trying to just get it out of their own end here with a bottle up of players along the boards, but Savard has it. Nice move, but he was triple teamed. And here's Alexei Yashin by himself for now, hoping for help, lugging it in. Now he buys some time, feeds Kavasha, moves up, shoots, save made, rebound in front is slapped away by Majewski. Boy, what a nice play by Alexei Yashin. And then he put it right onto the stick of a wide-open Kavasha. There's Niinema hit by Piros. Down to 1:23 left in the period. Majewski challenged by Asham. Good hit by Aaron Asham. Kavasha got it to the corner. Piros was dumped. Piros gets back up, but Kavasha still got it. Oleg Kavasha trying to shrug off Majewski. It's not easy. Majewski 6'5", 225. Scatcherd with a pick. So Niinema feeds Asham. Final minute of the period. Asham shot blocked. He's got it again. Now he plays it to the corner. Scatcherd ties up Majewski. Kavasha grinding. Kavasha still with it, showing his strength.
What a great shift by Kavasha. He just won't be denied with the puck.
Islanders were able to get the other two forwards changed while Kavasha was doing a good job keeping it deep.
Boy, did he ever handle the puck. And you're right about Majewski. He's big and strong and physical. He could not knock Kavasha off the puck.
Half minute remaining in the period. Now it's Blake. Laying it to the corner. Carvalho trying to hold him up. But there's Blake again. Down to the other side. Sutton first to get it. 19 left in the period. Blake continues the pressure. Kovalchuk slips it neatly ahead, but O'Coin at the Islander line turns it the other way. Now Janssen pounces on it, but he missed Blake with that pass. And the Islanders going to be hit with an icing, which you don't want this late in the period. Defensive zone draw with 5.6 seconds to go.
Now Kavasha, as I mentioned, I mean, he would not be denied. He had the puck in the corner. He kept turning. He kept moving. He had players hanging all over him, and then set up the play. And Piros is there, and then Majewski follows up. Now watch Kavasha stay with it. Kavasha is the one who stays on his feet. And then when he gets to the bench, Kurt Fraser says, nice job, big fella. Keep moving, keep skating. Good job.
Atlanta wins the draw. Kovalchuk's shot hit a skate. It looked to be that of Savard. And Blake takes the puck to the corner to end the period.
That was a good period of hockey, wasn't it?
For both teams.
Yeah. Atlanta came out with a much better start to this second period than they did the first period. They put some pressure on the Islanders. The Islanders had taken a couple of penalties, so they had to do it. The Islanders are able to come back, put on some pretty good pressure. Few of that short-handed, and Kazi Nurminen did a good job for Atlanta. And a good glove save on Kenny Janssen, stopped Jason Blake twice. Before Eric Cairns eventually gives the Islanders a lead. The Islanders had just finished killing off a penalty. Butenschon with the pass to Cairns, and Jason Blake was there. I thought at first Jason Blake got a piece of it, but Cairns gets credit, and that goal gives the Islanders a one-goal lead heading to the third period.
Which is where they were.
And he's used them killing penalties, something he didn't do much of the last couple of years. And so for Eric Cairns, who is newly married, this July he got married. His life has changed quite a bit in the last few months, all to the positive.
And that Steve Stirling philosophy is one markedly different change or approach from his predecessor, Peter Laviolette, who often would go down to 4 defensemen in the first period.
Yeah.
Dress 6, but skate 4. I think Adrian O'Coin's 35-minute days are probably done, huh? In all likelihood.
Unless something changes. You know, Steve Stirling's idea is, I'm going to give you the job, and you know, it's your job to lose it if you want. If not, you got a regular job. And it's had that attitude has had a very positive effect on these players.
Minute and a half gone by in the third. Arbalay up the middle. That went off of Kozlov. Brought back in by Savard. He sets up McEachran. Nice move. Centers. DiPietro with a save on Kozlov. Vyacheslav Kozlov from in close. And now the Islanders break out. Here's Yashin. 3-on-2 developing. They go offside. Cherkovsky ahead of the play on the right wing.
That's a great save by DiPietro. We've always talked about his athletic ability, and he makes it here on the redirection by Kozlov. Cherkovsky was with him but didn't have the stick. And Kozlov just redirects it there, and DiPietro with the right leg. The Islanders with a big power play change.
It's their 4th. They've had 3 shots over the first 3. This game is tied. 11:09 to go in the third. The Pekka line out with Parrish and Blake rather than Cherkovsky, who was just out. Or at least Cherkovsky not on with Yashin and Kvasha. Their line was just out, so the Pekka line starting the power play here with O'Coin and Hammerlick on the points. That's Savard shooting it down the ice. Now Atlanta changing up. Adrian O'Coin slowly out of his own zone. Now Hammerlick up to the Atlanta line. Lofts it to the corner. Pekka first to get it. Now Blake head up, looks for help. O'Coin back for Blake. Parrish is in front. What's new? Pekka with Parrish getting knocked down. Nothing new there either. For Blake, he shoots. Saved by Nurminen. And Tamer bumps into Parrish after the whistle, and then so does Sutton.
Now the Parrish didn't do anything. And Parrish, they just get tired of trying to push him out of the way. And it gets frustrating. So Parrish was in front. Blake will end up taking the shot. Right here. And Parrish is just stands there, takes a bump from Tamer. And then Sutton goes after him as well, and the Islanders will take that opportunity to make a change.
Parrish can take inventory on the bumps and bruises you get parked in front of the net.
He's off to a great start with 3 goals on the season thus far.
Savard thrown out of the face-off. Yashin takes it and wins it from McEachran. O'Coin for Cherkovsky. Now Marius steps up, down low. Kvasha slips one back towards the side of the net. It's loose and dribbles towards the corner. Good play by Yashin. He strips Savard. And O'Coin to Cherkovsky. He took a hit, played it to the slot, and it's cleared all the way down by Caberlet.
Now right before Yashin stole the puck, he made a good play in front of the net and nearly scored.
O'Coin for Niinema over the Atlanta line, offside with 34 seconds remaining in the third period. If you like to say offsides, well, let the legacy of Roger Nielsen be the fact that it's offside.
He did remind you of that a few times, didn't he?
Several others as well. We've traded notes.
There's the play. Yashin nearly scored in front, and then did a good job stealing the puck.
Rick DiPietro holds on behind the net before the handoff to Niinema with 23 to the power play. Here's Blake on right wing. Parrish trying to get away from Kozlov, who knocked him down. Referee took a spill too. And DiPietro way out of the net. And it looks like Parrish got the worst of all that. Michael Pekka in over the Atlanta line, put it behind Blake. Parrish doubled over back at the Islander bench. Penalties over. Blake caught by Tremblay coming out of the box. Now Sean Bates took a tug from Sutton. And now Janssen has it back. He inadvertently put it off of Aubin of Atlanta. And the Islanders have it again with 8:58 remaining in the third period. Islanders had just 1 shot on that power play. They're now 0 for 4. Blake to the corner. Sutton lines him up. Scatchard in behind. Tried to slip one to Bates. Couldn't get it there. And back come the Thrashers. Kovalchuk in over the line. Pulls up on O'Coin. Now for Tamer. That went wide. The Karam fielded perfectly. Robitaille stopped. Rebound is gathered in, but then juggled again by DiPietro, and it squirts to the corner. Kovalchuk sets up Tamer. Wrist shot well wide. Tremblay jumps in. Now Robitaille looks for Tremblay back on the point, but he was too deep and couldn't get it.
Good saves by DiPietro. Two of them on Robitaille.
Petrovitsky wheels it in. DiPietro for Hammerlick. Fake the heart around, and Alcavasha's got some room. Out comes Oleg Kavasha, skating well into the Atlanta zone. Quick pass and a shot by Butenschon, gobbled up by Nurminen with 7:59 remaining in the third period.
You want to go to it full time. That'll settle a lot of issues that people seem to have about the defensive style.
It would certainly change the way the game is played. I don't think there's a lot of hockey people that are ready for that move yet.
Well, we're 4-on-4 in the overtime. McEachran put it down low. Good recovery by Hammerlick, because Blake didn't see that puck going to that area. Hammerlick bailed him out, and here comes Jason Blake. The Atlanta zone, offside. Pekka with Blake. And Hammerlick with O'Coin for the Islanders, but now they'll change up.
That was a very good play because Blake, I think, reached behind him with his stick to try and deflect the pass. It hit his stick and went right to Kovalchuk. It looked like he had a chance, and Hammerlick recognized that and came over and made the play.
You were going to Kovalchuk him, weren't you?
I was.
I was impressed with your poise.
Savard.
But not with my memory.
That's okay. Hammerlick tied up by Savard. Mark Savard plays the puck. Now to Cumberland, moves up, shoots, and DiPietro got a piece of that. Hammerlick holds on behind the Islander goal.
I think DiPietro anticipated where the puck was going to be. I don't think he saw the shot.
A little more than a minute gone in the overtime. Vyacheslav Kozlov leads on a breakaway. Caberlet, a save by DiPietro. Caberlet in deep with Savard. Looked like DiPietro got that left leg out. Keeps this game going at 2-2 in overtime. And the net is off. And finally, someone sees it, blows the whistle.
Caberlet's a defenseman that jumped into the hole right up the middle. And Kozlov, who is a terrific passer, makes his play here. Watch him find him. And watch how many moves Caberlet makes. 3-4 moves, and DiPietro stayed with him all the way. Look at the fakes. Trying to get him to move. And DiPietro just waited, showed patience, and then made a great save.
So 3:35 remain in the overtime. Pekka and Blake. With Hammerlick. Pardon me, Niinema and Janssen for the Islanders.
And that was a set play there. Pekka moved the puck forward. And Blake tried to get past his man for a breakaway, couldn't do it.
Stefan driving to the net. Patrick Stefan with his own man Aubin in the corner. Those are the two Atlanta forwards with Tremblay and Exelby back in this 4-on-4 in overtime. Niinema trying to shake loose of Aubin. And Blake is leveled by Exelby. But the Islanders keep the puck. Here comes Pekka in over the line. Pekka for Janssen, darting towards the net. Janssen's in. A shot. A save by Nurminen. It's still loose. And play continues. Kovalchuk in his own zone. All of a sudden, there was Kenny Janssen all by himself.
Well, the defensemen 4-on-4 are the most dangerous players.
Now McEachran darting towards the net. He's in. He shoots. DiPietro beat him. Now Kovalchuk in the slot for Tremblay, slept away. McEachran taken in by O'Coin. It stays in the zone until Niinema pries it loose. And here's Pekka beating Blake. Jason Blake pulls up. Caberlet with him. And František Caberlet gets away from Blake. 2:21 to go in overtime. Andy Sutton for Atlanta. Plays it hard around the Karam right out in front, fielded by O'Coin. Yashin with Cherkovsky. Here's Marius weaving through center. Away from Kozlov. Now to Hammerlick to Yashin. It's blocked. Yashin recovers. Alexei Yashin pulls up. Sets up Hammerlick. A drive and a save by Nurminen. And then Sutton with a little facial to Yashin. These teams have already earned a point. And they're looking for the bonus point.
Yeah, good play by Cherkovsky. just across the blue line, reaching over to knock the puck to Yashin. And then Yashin fans on that shot. Didn't get all of it. It was blocked. And then Nurminen, watch him just stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And then that save. Was able to get back into position as Yashin set up Hammerlick. And Nurminen with a good glove save.
1:58 remaining in overtime. Islanders.
Overtimes are fun, aren't they?
Love them. 4-on-4. Certainly opens the ice up, creates scoring chances. We've already seen several at both ends here in the overtime. Denny Janssen, who had one. Watched by Santala. Now Tchaikovsky away from Kovalchuk, in over the line. Tchaikovsky to the corner, dribbles it back through the slot. Nurminen got a stick on it. Tchaikovsky has it again. Now to Yashin. Alexei Yashin trying to power away. Exelby gave him a bump. Janssen gives him a pick. Yashin still with it. Now to Tchaikovsky. He shoots. It's deflected. Yashin goes to the boards. Kovalchuk on him. It's Yashin behind Janssen. And the Islanders have to move out of the Atlanta zone. Ninema at his own blue line for New York. Tried to get it away from Kovalchuk. Couldn't do it. Kovalchuk wheels back the other way. Quick shot and a glove save by DiPietro as Kovalchuk quickly manufactured a scoring chance.
Kovalchuk up front for the Thrashers. Yashin up front for the Islanders have been the two best forwards. And then the defense on both teams have had chances. Kovalchuk still plenty of energy in overtime and let that quick wrist shot go. And DiPietro in good position to make the save.
Exactly 1 minute remaining in overtime. Pekka beats Stefan to a face-off. Pekka with Blake, Hammerlick and O'Coin for the Islanders. Stefan with Aubin, Haberle and Sutton for Atlanta. Jason Blake trying to get away from Sutton. 46 seconds left. It's still deep in the Atlanta zone. Blake working with Pekka for the Islanders. Big Andy Sutton got it to Aubin. That enables the Thrashers to break out. 3-on-2. Aubin into the Islanders zone for Caberlet. Down low. It's kicked at by Stefan, but he keeps possession or giving it up to Pekka. Aubin and Pekka trying to tie each other up. O'Coin in there as well. And now it's Hammerlick with 20 seconds remaining. Feeding Blake on right wing. 2-on-2. Hammerlick brings it in. Hammerlick fires and a kick save. Nurminen. Nice feed to Yashin down low. Blake couldn't get it off. 7 seconds left. Savard gets rid of it. Hammerlick at center, and this one's going to end in a tie. One last opportunity. This one winds up 2-2.
Yashin, what a chance at the end, and he elected to be unselfish instead of taking that great wrist shot that he has. He tried to set up Blake. This was a tremendous hockey game. Hard fought by both teams. The goaltending was good. We saw both teams defensively.
Against the Florida Panthers, a ceremonial puck drop. Dennis Potvin and Dr. J. Julius Irving doing the honors with the two captains. And Rick DiPietro got another start in goal, his first ever start in a home opener. Big save early for Rick, and then it was Roberto Luongo who really saw a lot more work at the other end of the ice. Big glove save there early for Luongo. And literally making a save for his goaltender was Lyle Odelon. He actually made a couple, as it was Luongo who got caught out of the net. But then it's the Islanders who get caught and turn it over. So the first goal of the night goes to Victor Kozlov, and the Florida Panthers take a 1-0 lead. But the Islanders had plenty of chances. Marian Tchaikovsky is off on a break-in, and it's up to Luongo who made the save. He left a lot of rebounds, a lot of juicy rebounds. The Islanders were able to pounce on a couple, could have pounced on more. Power play, Marius goes top shelf, and in his first home opener in a couple of years, he ties the game at 1, and then another power play. Gorgeous feed from Adrian O'Coin to Ole Kavasha. That's the game winner. The Islanders take a 2-1 lead. DiPietro had to make a couple of quality saves at the end. He said that one of Mike Van Ryn was his toughest of the night, the final minute of play, to preserve the 1-goal victory, and so that's how it ends. It's a 2-1 win for the Islanders. That line of Tchaikovsky and Kavasha had 19 shots on goal. Pekka was winning faceoffs and creating turnovers, a lot of big hits. The penalty kill worked, and the power play was excellent. That's where our reaction starts.
moved the puck a little quicker. We took the shot a little more than normal and got rewarded with some rebounds and in tight stuff. But even up to that point before, we were getting chances, we just weren't bearing them. So I knew there's enough talent on both the units that we use, no matter who's out there, that sooner or later, if they stick to it and you make a couple of minor changes like we did tonight, and they work hard at it, sooner or later there's enough talent out there. One's going to bounce in, or you're going to get a good rebound that goes your way. You put one in and it gets you going.
Well, I think you're starting to see some maturity on the hockey team. You know, we know what our role is, we know what our jobs are, we know what the system is, and we just we got to go out and execute. And I think the sooner we learn to put the puck in the right place on transition and get ourselves in the right place on transition, we're going to be that much more dangerous. You know, we're getting the turnovers. It just seems we're just a step behind, or just a little slow in getting the puck and getting ourselves to the right spot to really create some great offensive chances.
The both goals were scored by the line that, as a threesome, has been the Islanders' best so far in the early going. Alexei Yashin had 2 goals against Buffalo. His pairing with Oleg Kvasha and Mariusz Czerkowski has really clicked. Kvasha had the game winner on Saturday night. He's been one of the Islanders' best offensive players 4 games in. And Mariusz has 3 goals on the season. And after a so-so early training camp, he has come out with a vengeance in the early going. He's playing well, and he's been responsible defensively. So as you check out some numbers from the front line, the one set of numbers that jump out at you, the plus minus, all 3 are a +3, and none of them have been on the ice for any of the 9 goals against through the first 4 games.
They've been pretty solid. There's obviously some talent there. That's the obvious. The less than obvious is the work. I thought Yashin worked as hard as anybody in the ice tonight, and his 2 wingers weren't too far behind. And that's that second effort gets you scoring chances. That second effort sends a huge message to your teammates that it's okay to work hard.
I mean, Oli has the quickness and you see the size, and he's fast, and Yash is strong and strong on the puck and play well both ends. I just try to fit it somewhere there between, and dish some pucks and make some places, and get those rebounds when we get the chance, and chip in with some production. So it's working pretty well so far.
We had a lot of great chances, and with respect to Alex and his line, they're playing the best hockey I've ever seen him play, and I've played against him a long time and seen him play for a long time, and that's only good news for our hockey team with the depth we have. We get that production in all through our lineup.
There was the one big concern that came out of Saturday's game, and that would be the injury to Dave Scatchard. He had an MRI today on the injured shoulder, and we just got the news. Not the word that Dave Scatchard was looking for. It is a separated shoulder, and he is going to be lost, it looks like, from 4 to 6 weeks. That was the hit, a hip check from Pavel Trinka, and Scatch just kind of flipped over. It looked somewhat harmless, but it was obviously anything but harmless as he had to get helped off the ice. He was in a ton.
Renewed some hostilities. Let's go to Nassau County for the action. First period, Islanders get on the board on the power play, and who else? Mariusz Czerkowski. He's become the scoring machine for the Islanders. Wrist shot, past Ed Belfour, right away, 1-0, still in the first. Toronto on the move eventually, they control it, and as it goes around the Islander net, former Islander Tom Fitzgerald hits the post with a wrist shot. Then on the rebound, Fitzgerald gets another chance, goes wide. So Garth Snow manages to, with some help, keep the Islanders in the lead. Second period, New York would add to a 2-1 lead. Brian Marchment, the attempted pass picked off. And it's Czerkowski again who blasts it right through Belfour. Second of the night, 3-1 Islanders lead. Later in the second, again, Islanders on the power play. This time Adrian Aucoin. Quick shot off the Czerkowski pass, then from behind the net, Alexei Yashin sets up Oleg Kvasha for the tip-in, and hasn't that line produced? 4-1 Islanders, still in the second. Michael Pekka in the penalty box. The 2-minute infraction would come to an end, and Sean Bates makes the pinpoint pass to Pekka, who wrists it home. First goal of the year for Michael Pekka. And that would give the Islanders a 5-1 lead. Not a lot of Toronto fans at the Coliseum, but one was Mike Myers. He talked to our Deb Kaufman.
What is wrong with your Maple Leafs?
I don't know. It's early in the season, so I'm not going to make any judgments, but we're sort of not, we don't have a hop to our step. I'm loving the play of Stajan. I think he's playing great.
Hockey fans, let's hear it for your
wow.
New York Islanders.
New York Islanders. Look, they're not having a good night. But it's early in the season yet, and, I like to think of bad dress rehearsal, good show. So, for the playoffs, hopefully.
The fourth goal by the Islanders.
Yeah, baby. Anyway, Islanders hold on. 5-2 your win. That's Garth Snow's win. He only needed to make 13 saves in this one. The Islanders outshot Toronto 26-15.
How long were you waiting to do that?
2 years.
There you
3
go.
years. 5 goals on their first 9 shots. Knocked Ed Belfour out of the net at 4-1. Mariusz Czerkawski has 5 goals this year. He had 5 in 43 games last year with the Montreal Canadiens. In fact, he was sent to the minors because he played so badly. But the Islanders come up with the win 5-2. Now a 4-game unbeaten streak. That only happened to them only 3 times all last year. For more, the men who called the game on Fox Sports Net, Howie Rose and Joe Micheletti.
Thanks, John. This was a solid performance by the Islanders, starting with Garth Snow in goal. And really one of the big stories for this team over the first 5 games of this season has been not so much the return, but the very productive return of Mariusz Czerkawski.
They're getting a lot of players that are contributing to this team. And Czerkawski, it's been a big surprise because I think a lot of people were kind of wondering, where is he in his career? He had an off year last year, but coming into this game, he had scored 3 goals. The Islanders have an early power play, and there's the confidence of Czerkawski. A bad angle, yet he's able to get the shot off quickly. He beats Belfour, and quickly it was 1-0. Then with a score 2-1, it was Czerkawski that picks up a loose puck on a miscue from the Toronto Maple Leafs defense. He beats Belfour again with the shot and gets his 5th of the year, and all of a sudden it's 3-1. The Islanders are rolling, and Czerkawski, he feels good about his game. And remember a couple years ago.
Well, the Maple Leafs road jerseys look nice. That was one thing.
Yeah, with wearing the white now on the road, and they get to jazz things up a little bit. They're clean, at least, going into this one. That's all you can say about tonight's effort?
That's about it.
Yeah, well, one thing about it kind of took the heat off the sagging offense this evening on Long Island to take on the Islanders. Ed Belfour, of course, coming off that shutout Saturday against Montreal. That streak of perfection didn't last 10 minutes tonight. Islanders in the power play off the dump in. Mariusz Czerkawski. Weird shot, beats Belfour, 1-0 New York. The Islanders had good luck off the forecheck. Belfour can't find that puck, and look behind you, it's in the net. Jason Blake with his first of the year, 2-0 New York on just 7 shots. First period, however, not a total loss. After falling behind 2-0, Leafs respond 50 seconds later. Gary Roberts pointing at that puck in the net, and Paul Dvorsky says, yeah, it is in there. Leafs trailed 2-1 after the opening 20. Mariusz Czerkawski scored just 5 goals with Montreal last year, but he lights things on Long Island. Early in the second, Rick Jackman will lose control of that puck. There's Czerkawski making a pay by blasting it right through Belfour. Czerkawski's 5th early on. 3-1 Islanders. Czerkawski's 2nd goal of the night. Jackman obviously peeved himself. Buck 15 later. Islanders in the power play. Alexei Yashin, Ola Kavasha. He's in front of the net, tipping in behind Belfour. 4-1 New York, and that was it for the Eagle. Pat Quinn says, Michael Tellquist, get in there. First appearance of the season. Midway through the period, things start heating up. Eric Goddard runs at Darcy Tucker. Ty Doby doesn't like that, and he and Goddard drop the gloves. Pretty good tilt. Domi went down a couple of times, but got back up immediately. Late in the second, Sean Bates spots Michael Pekka jumping out of the penalty box. It's a breakaway. He's going glove side on Michael Tellquist. Pekka's first goal against the Leafs in 24 games. Mike Myers not exactly enjoying this one. Big Leaf fan, opted for the neutral National Hockey League hat. Third period, Brian Marshman stepping up. Sean Bergenheim dropped down. Goddard immediately comes to his aid. And Marshman did a pretty good job against the bigger, tougher, stronger Goddard. Switching off with the rights and the lefts. How about that? But at the end, Marshman took a pretty ugly one that bloodied his nose. Ty Domi liking that. Late in the third, Leafs showing some late game spark. Snow out of the net. Owen Nolan takes that puck, finds Matt Stajan, wide open goal, 5-2 New York. A rare mistake by the Snowman. The Islanders go on to win it 5-2, improving to 3-1-1. Garth Snow's first appearance since being humbled in the season opener, allowing 6 goals in less than half a game. He entered this contest with a goals against average of 13.8. That dropped dramatically. Islanders are now undefeated in their last 4 games. A goaltending story for Toronto. Michael Tellquist off 5-6 after replacing Ed Belfour, allowed 4 goals on 9 shots. Matt Sundin still has no points this year on a night that Pat Quinn described it as a poor defensive effort.
Welcome Welcome to SportsCenter, everybody. He's Blake Price. I am Jennifer Hedger. And Blake, every time the Islanders and the Leafs hook up, history has shown us that it could get a little physical, but to be perfectly honest, the Leafs maybe have more pressing issues these days. They've scored just 5 goals in 4 games.
Yeah, the offense a little anemic going into this one. They needed some goals. You need that to win the game. Anytime the Islanders and Leafs play, always a chance for bad blood to spill over, mainly because of those two fellas. First period, Ed Belfour looking sluggish. So Mariusz Czerkawski finds a hole, his 4th of the year, opens the scoring, and Belfour continues to have trouble seeing the puck. Almost blind. Eddie, over here, Eddie. It's in the net, too late. Jason Blake's first of the year, 2-0 for the Isles. The Leafs answer back. Gary Roberts in the wraparound somehow gets that one past Garth Snow. Roberts even showing the ref the puck just in case he's new. Cuts the lead in half. Darcy Tucker, day at the office, receiving, dishing them out. Second period, Rick Jackman coughs up the puck right to Czerkawski, who makes him pay. Second of the game off the slapper. 3-1 Islanders. They don't stop there. Power play, Alexei Yashin, the quick pass to Ole Kvasha. That beats Belfour. 4-1 Isles. That spells the end of Belfour's night. Michael Telkvist come on down and cue the rough stuff. Eric Goddard takes a run at Tucker, knocks him over. Ty Domi happens to be right there to take over and drop the mitts. Call this one a draw. A lot of punches to the shoulder pads in this one. Tucker later retaliates, takes out Jason Weimer. That's 2 minutes in the box, and he is soon to be joined by one Michael Pekka. He serves his 2 minutes, and as soon as he gets out, Sean Bates spots him. Pekka in alone beats Telkvist 5-1 New York through 40. Third period, more rough stuff. Brian Marchman catches Sean Bergenheim with his head down. Oh, look, Eric Goddard happens to be there. Starts chucking him with Marchman. It was a little leaky after all is said and done. The Leafs get hammered everywhere. 5-2 the final. Now with an assist tonight, rookie Rick Jackman now leads the Leafs in scoring through 5 games, which would normally be cause for optimism, except he has 3 points. The Leafs have scored just 7 goals now in their first 5 games.
Well, speaking of, well, no, we won't speak of that at all. If you watched the Leafs and Habs Saturday night, you probably saw some encouraging signs, indications, things were looking up. It's amazing how wrong you were. The Leafs going into Long Island tonight and throwing up their worst effort since opening night. Leafs shorthanded 5 minutes into the game. Islanders get it started, dump it in. Comes off the boards to Mariusz Czerkawski, a little snapshot, and it fools Eddie. Coming off the shutout, lets in the softie. Isles up 1-0. The other end of the rink, Leafs with problems scoring. Garth Snow stones Ty Domi, then Nathan Parrott. No better luck at the side of the net. Leafs with plenty of pressure, though, in the first period. Tom Fitzgerald picks up a loose puck, circles the net, and quickly rings it off the iron. Then Rick Jackman from the point can't find the net. Late in the period, Leafs can't control it, deep in their own zone. It'll pop out to Jason Blake with Eddie looking the wrong way, and Blake jams it past him, and New York's up 2-0. Finally, Leafs get on the board. Less than a minute later, Joe Nieuwendyk behind the net tries a centering pass, won't go. Gary Roberts picks up the loose puck, circles and stuffs it past Snow. There you see it at the back of the net. Roberts had to show referee Paul Dvorsky it was indeed in. Yeah, seeing is believing with the Leafs this year. That cuts the lead at 2-1. Second period, Rick Jackman coughs it up. Mariusz Czerkawski winds and fires past Belfour. The Islanders would build a 4-1 lead, and Pat Quinn had seen plenty. Michael Telkvist takes over between the pipes for the Eagle, who gave up 4 goals on 9 shots, albeit with minimal help. Things get nasty as Eric Goddard then takes a run at Darcy Tucker. Boom, down goes Tucker. Maybe a little payback, maybe not, from the Pekka affair a couple of years ago, but Ty Domi steps in regardless, 6 inches shorter, 27 pounds lighter than Goddard, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. Both get 5 for fighting. Islanders kill off a minor. Sean Bates to Pekka just out of the box. Snaps it under Telkvist's glove. New York up 5-1 after 2. Third period, Islanders forward Sean Bergenheim caught with his head down, and boom, down he goes. Brian Marchman lines him up, so Goddard wades in for his second bout of the night. Marchman gets 5 for fighting and a bloodied nose. Goddard gets the instigator, fighting major, and a gross misconduct. Later in the third, Aki Berg flips it in from center ice. Snow can't handle it. Owen Nolan gets position on the goaltender, flips it in front for Matt Stajan, and the rookie converts the wide open net for his first National Hockey League goal. Again, you'll see it. Nice play by Nolan. A little nudge on Snow, and then in front, Stajan with his first. But the Leafs lose 5-2 to the Isles, their first road loss of the season. The Leafs have just 7 goals in their 6 games. Their record now 1-2-2, and that is no better than the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers. Actually, the Islanders are better than both of them. The Rangers also won 2-2. Mats, 17.5 minutes tonight, 4 shots, no points, and was -2 on the evening as Robertson staged and scored. Tchaikovsky with a pair, Blake, Kavasha, and Pekka for New York. The Islanders opening with 2 straight home wins for the first time since 92-93. And afterward, comments from head coach
He's been held
Pat
pointless
Quinn.
so far this season, and he's called for a hooking penalty under 5 minutes into this one, and the Islanders capitalize. Marius Tchaikovsky alone in the circle catches Ed Belfour leaning, beats him on the short side. 4th of the year after scoring just 5 all of last season. 1-zip Isles. Now for some Three Stooges action. Renberg, Marchman, and Kongratiev all converge behind the net. Jason Blake all alone in front, jams in his first of the year. Not very pretty. Toronto down by 2. From there, the Buds grinders get to work. Roberts and Nieuwendyk controlling the boards before Roberts jams in the wraparound attempt. Then he points out to the ref to make sure he knows that the Leafs cut the lead to 1 after 20 minutes. Under 2 minutes into the second, Rick Jackman decides he's in a giving mood, puts it right on the stick of Tchaikovsky. He blasts it right through the Eagles. Second of the game, New York reclaims the 2-goal lead. Just over a minute later, the Isles with the man advantage. Point shot is wide, but I like to say Yashin gets it out to Oleg Kavasha. He beats Belfour for the second goal in under 3 minutes. 4 goals on 9 shots means the Eagles' night is done, and Mikhail Telkvist gets his first action of the season with Toronto down 4-1, and he gets a good view of Eric Goddard lining up Darcy Tucker. Ty Domi knows Tucker has a bullseye on him, so he steps in to make sure his presence is felt. The first Toronto Fighting major of the season, Domi makes it count as he loses the elbow pad and catches Goddard right in the mouth with a big left, but it doesn't change where this game is going. Sean Bates tape to tape to Michael Pekka just out of the box. He makes Telkvist look like a backup. First of the season, gives the Islanders a 5-1 lead after 2 periods, and they would hold on for the 5-2 win. Some injury notes for you. Mikael Renberg did not return.
Let's take a look at the first period highlights. They're brought to you by BMW.
Well, first of all, who's back in the lineup? That man, Steve Webb. Very familiar with Islander fans, of course. And he had a couple of hits in period number 1. But the Islanders did a great job on the forecheck. Kraft loses the puck, loses Weimer, and Weimer just is able to find Hunter on the other side, who followed in. That made it a 1-0 game for that hard-working line. It was 2-0 on some beautiful passing right there, especially the pass by Alexei Yashin right onto the blade of Tchaikovsky, who deflects it in. There it is again. Tchaikovsky just goes to the front of the net. Porous defense again by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then Trent Hunter. Good forecheck. They forced the turnover. Another one in front, and Hunter just followed it up in the quick wrist shot up high over the glove of Perron. And for Hunter, his second of the game, that made it 3-0.
The intermission, along with Baumgartner, and the Islanders have Pekka, Blake, and Parrish with Janssen and O'Coin as Snow covers up. Just 10 seconds into the period.
You know, Snow played a smart first period, and he starts off the second the same way. And not much action against him, not many scoring chances for Pittsburgh, and any loose pucks, he's just making sure. Take the face off, settle everything down, get back to work.
Lemieux behind the net now with O'Coin on him. Centers Koltsov, a save by Snow. Good setup from behind the net by Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, that's what they like about Koltsov. How you mentioned in the first period how they like his work, going after loose pucks and in the corners. And he was just strong because he had Pekka on him. You'll see Pekka right there trying to defend against him, and Koltsov was able to stay on his feet for the most part, keep his stick on the ice, and deflect that pass by Lemieux.
Koltsov from Minsk in Belarus. Pulled a big Olympic upset a couple of years ago, did they not?
Yes, they did.
Here's Adrian O'Coin out of the Islanders zone while Janssen and Koltsov were locked up behind the play.
They beat Sweden when a lot of people thought Sweden had a chance to win the goal.
Played in every rink from Moscow to Minsk. Rochelle. Tarnstrom touches up as Hammerlick was knocked down. There'll be a holding penalty to the Penguins. And Lemieux with another shot at Hammerlick.
Yep. Well, they came together when Lemieux was carrying the puck over the blue line. I'm not sure if he's obviously accusing Hammerlick of something. Let's see if the Islanders don't get a double minor out of this. I think the initial call was going against Lemieux. Hammerlick came in. He goes down. And so Lemieux was going to get the holding call, I believe. And then after the whistle.
I don't think he said nice to see you, Mario, prompting that reaction. But it only goes as a 2-minute minor, so they got the first one.
Yeah.
And the Islanders to the power play.
At what point in time he's going to say, listen, things are going well for me. I'm tired of babysitting. The Lemieux kids.
Hey, you're living with your boss. You better enjoy the babysitting. And he better clean up his room. Justin Papineau works it up the middle. Now Weimer brings it in. Ellikar, watched by Papineau. Just about 6 minutes gone here in the second period, most of which have seen the Islanders on the power play. Hughes pass batted away. And then it's sent back into the Pittsburgh zone. Here's Falk for Pittsburgh.
And Lemieux and Cairns staring at one another. Lemieux's not going to play. Cairns,
you know what? Cairns loves to play the big boys. Never mind.
Oh, no. He's got a couple of guys that jumped in on him now. Behind the net, that's McKenna.
Big Steve McKenna.
And before that, Malone had come to the rescue, I think, of Lemieux after Lemieux and Cairns had. This will be, I don't know if this will be third man in or.
Well, Cairns with one arm on McKenna's shirt trying to throw that left uppercut and connect. He didn't dare. Now McKenna throwing a couple of rights and Cairns answers. Cairns continues to fire away. Eric Cairns getting some good shots in on Steve McKenna, who's 6 feet 8 inches tall. Now with the jersey over Eric Cairns' head, the linesman will get in there. Cairns more than held his own with another big customer, all because he had the audacity to hit Mario.
Follow him. I mean, not much seems to happen here. There's Cairns over there on the left with Lemieux. Again, they're over here. And then just a little bit of a stick there by Cairns, but not much. And Mario Lemieux stopped, had a few words, push. I mean, Eric Cairns is not going to fight Mario Lemieux, nor does Mario Lemieux want to fight. And as play continues, he'll get a little help. Malone goes in after Cairns, and then McKenna comes in. They had a couple of guys come after him before McKenna and Cairns finally throw down the gloves and exchange a number of punches.
Mario still appears angry on the bench.
Well,
perhaps because his team is going to be down for 4 more minutes.
He's still one of the great competitors in the game, and when it's 3-0, and it's tough. It's easy for him to get frustrated, not only as the owner but as the player.
So the Islanders with a power play once again have Pekka with Blake and Parrish. And it's O'Coin with Hammerlick on the points. Orpuk and Bergevin, the defense for Pittsburgh. And Eastwood gets it back. 2 for high sticking and 2 for instigating and 2 for removing the face shield. That's the 4 minutes against McKenna.
Well, McKenna's wearing the face shield because he was hit in the eye with a puck and had some damage and just recently returned to the lineup.
O'Coin missed it. Here comes Rico Fata firing, but Hammerlick got back. Make a good defensive play and deflect that shot.
This is a good opportunity for the Islanders to take advantage of this. I mean, it's still 3-0. Pittsburgh is still in this game at 3-0. But if the Islanders could get that 4th or 5th goal, it would be just about over.
Yashin looks for the 4th, doesn't get it. And the Penguins dump it all the way down. 2:40 remaining. Islanders have been on the power play most of the second period. Now Bates. Janssen turning away from Baumgartner. Gives him a shove, but Kenny Janssen does all that he can to hold on to the puck. Long enough to get some support from Bates. Fans getting a little impatient wanting this power play to start creating some chances. Here's Bates working it deep. Orpuk back. Hit by Bates. Orpuk more than held his own. Bouncing puck. Malone shoves Pekka. And now Fata gets it out of the Pittsburgh end of the ice. So that takes care of the first half of the double minor. Parrish around Orpuk. Into the corner. Bergevin steps into Blake. But Blake spins it back to the blue line. Bates for Hammerlick. And now Bates again. Malone fell down. Blake steps up. Checked by Bergevin. Quick pass, but Bergevin got back into the play to cut it off. Fata with Malone. But it's Fata sending it all the way down. And Garth Snow has to grab it. 1:26 remaining to the Islander power play. 11:06. Maine here in the second period. All the Islanders scoring. Of course, the scoring for the game took place in the first. A steal by Eastwood. Comes to center with Kelly Buchberger. Eastwood, number 20 for Buchberger, but he was held off by O'Coin. And up the right wing, Marius Cherkovsky was checked by Buchberger. Trailing is Hammerlick. He carries in. Hammerlick trying to spread it out on the power play. 57 seconds remain with a man advantage. Here's Cherkovsky with a goal in this game. Marius waiting. Penguins are boxed up. Hammerlick fires. Stick save made by Karan. And the Islanders get it back. Yashin, Kavasha off the side of the net. He was looking for Cherkovsky in front. Yashin grabs it back. Alexei Yashin drifts back towards the blue line. Now he starts ahead. Down low, Kavasha. And that's stopped by not only Karan, but the side of the net. Kavasha to Yashin. Into the side of the net again. Now Cherkovsky follows. They score! Cherkovsky threw it at the net. Karan protesting. I'm not sure if he said that one of the Islanders might have locked him up.
You know what happened? You know who made the smart play on this? Is Alexei Yashin. Because Yashin went to a position where he could go, and Karan was cut out of the net, and he had to try and go through Yashin to get back to the net. Good passing here. There's the one that goes through everybody, and the Islanders just stay with it. Now watch what happens. Yashin gets bumped, and you can see there Karan has trouble getting back in the net. That's because he had to go around Yashin or try and get through him to get back into position. And Cherkovsky saw that open net. His eyes got big and put it in for a 4-0 lead.
They're going to get bigger because he's got half a game to look for that hat trick. And Marius, by the way, as we get more pushing and shoving, Marius has scored in all 3 of the home games that the Islanders have played.
Now Steve Webb getting involved with Weimer.
That was Webb. And Webb now being gently escorted to the penalty box.
Well, he knows what his role is on this team as well. And Papineau goes to the penalty box for the Islanders. Yeah, we'll take a look at this 4th goal. And Yashin is in a position where he goes in. Now watch, he'll get hit from behind right there. And so now he just stands there. Look at him, he tries to get out, but he stands there. And with Karan trying to get back in the net, he's got to either wait for Yashin to get out of the way or try and get through him. That little delay allows Cherkovsky to look up, and he liked what he saw.
So 2 for Marius, 2 for Trent Hunter, and 2 minutes each for Webb and Papineau. Now Weimer tries to return fire. He got the back of Bradley's helmet with that first one. Now Bradley's helmet is off, and Weimer pulls it down, and here are the linesmen. Angelo, D'Amico, and Pierre Shampoo. 4:47 remaining in the second period. An Islander kind of nice. Webb trying to finish a check on Parrish.
Webb playing on a line with Mario.
Pekka to Blake, a save made. Parrish denied, rebound Ninema. He scores! Yanni Ninema, 5-0 New York.
Well, Karan stopped the first 2 shots, and then Ninema just showed all kinds of patience. There's one save, there's a second save, and watch Ninema and how patient he is, waiting for Karan to just slide over and stay down on the ice, and then lifted it above him. So 1 shot here by Blake, a second one by Parrish, and Ninema just follows it up. And finally, another defenseman besides Eric Cairns scores a goal.
Oh, we talked in the opening of the game how the Islanders wanted more offense from their defensemen this year. And prior to this game, only Eric Cairns in Atlanta had scored a goal among the Islander defense, but Yanni Ninema has his first. So a 5-0 Islander lead, and you have to feel for Sebastian Caron doing it step there because he didn't get any help at all.
None.
Milan Kraft, number 14.
And now in front of the net, Sean and Malone. Malone looked like he was looking to get in the fight when this started. And he took about 3 or or 4 right hands from Butenschon.
So Butenschon and Malone will serve some time as Sven Butenschon,
a former Penguin,
trying to make his presence felt. Butenschon only playing for the 4th time. He had not played in the previous 3 games. Sven gets a nice hand as he heads towards the Islander dressing room.
What's the record for fighting majors in a game?
I don't think
it looks like every shift now somebody on Pittsburgh wants to get the fight.
Why don't we call 18? I'll bet you he played in the game with those bullies. Well, technically the bullies were in Philadelphia, the Broad Street bullies, but Eddie Westfall's Big Bad Bruins had a few.
And there it is behind the net. 2 guys go after Butenschon. And back in front, Malone wanted to fight. There's a cross check there again. Butenschon turns around, and before he does anything, Malone's got his gloves off, it looked like, but Butenschon certainly won the battle.
So they each get 5. Cairns had given him 2 pretty good shots the last time they were out together. Ninema stopped. One, he gave him a mild stick and then a harder body check. Jason Blake's shot blocked. Ninema took a big hit there from Webb.
Yeah, well, Webb got the hands up there. I mean, he went after him, and now Cairns is being challenged by Buchberger again, but he's already been in 2.
Loose puck and a centering feed to Parrish, who missed it. 44 seconds left in the period. Blake upended. Penguins still having trouble controlling. Buchberger just wants to fire it as hard as he can. Got it out of the zone, not before Ninema had stepped into Webb, who had given him a pretty good shot earlier.
Now keep an eye on Pekka and Buchberger right here. Buchberger going after Pekka. And he saw him coming, and there goes Cairns.
And Webb flew right into the middle of it. Cairns and Webb had exchanged a couple of shots too leading up to that.
Well, Buchberger early in the shift was challenging Cairns. And now Buchberger's in the Islanders bench. And then Pekka with a tremendous hit behind the net on Buchberger, and Buchberger got off the ice and he went headhunting for him. I mean, he went after him. And Pekka saw him coming in front of the bench. It's getting ugly, isn't it?
Well, that's a very difficult.
Way too ugly.
It's a very difficult job too for the linesman to contain Buchberger there. Is that Pierre Champoux? I believe it is. Or is that Angelo? That's Pierre Champoux, I think. But in any event, that's a tough job to contain Buchberger right alongside the Islander bench.
Yep. Well, it could have got worse, and the Islanders on the bench just stepped away. Now gave room where it could have got much worse than what it did. So Buchberger is on his way to the locker room. Here's the hit right there. That's Pekka with a big hit, clean hit on Buchberger. And then Buchberger goes after him. Pekka sees him come. Watch, here's Buchberger, a little collision there. And then right there again. And Pekka waited for him, saw him coming, and got his arms up to protect himself. And then everybody got involved. And Cairns with Buchberger. Down he goes.
And stay there.
See on that, DiPietro push Yashin out of the way. I think just to give him a little protection with skates.
Around Stalker shoots, he scores! What a goal for his first National Hockey League goal! Sean Bergenheim!
Well, he turned on the speed and then made an outstanding move right here. Gets Straka, who's a forward playing defense, to commit to the outside. And Bergenheim with the shorthanded goal. Beautiful play. The fourth shorthanded goal given up by Pittsburgh this year. And Bergenheim takes advantage of Straka on defense. The forward makes a beautiful move. And then you can see how strong he is as he had a player on each side of him trying to hold his stick down. He just kept going, got the shot off. And that makes it a 7-2 game.
came close a couple other times in this game. But right there, not only did he put nice moves on, but nice finish too. And it's not a punt. His hands, by the way, are not supposed to be his biggest strength with a punt. They look pretty nifty there.
Yeah, well, they're still not sure what type of scorer he's going to be in the league in. They know he's smart, can skate, plays with a lot of determination, very smart defensively.
I told you about the Penguins' problems in terms of giving up shorthanded goals. Well, that's another one. It's the 4th shorthanded goal this year they've allowed. This year is only 2.5 weeks old. So it's 7-2 New York. Highest goal total for the Islanders this young season. Yashin and Butchon get the assists at the 14:39 mark here in the third period.
And now getting plenty of ice time as well. And that's something that Steve Stirling is really giving these players opportunities. And Kurt Fraser, the assistant coach, one of them, telling the young kid, nice going on that first goal.
On the draw, Baumgartner plays it to Kofsky.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
Kofsky put it in front, batted away. So they'll each get shots in this final shift at a hat trick. Kofsky now with 7 goals on the year. And as we mentioned before, this is the 3rd game the Islanders have played on home ice. Marius has scored in every one of them. Final 30 seconds. Islanders going to go to 4 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. Pittsburgh 1 win. They will lose for the 4th time and have tied twice.
Cairns and Bradley in front. And now Bookberger says something to Cairns.
Tchaikovsky with Hunter. Tried to leave it to Hunter, broken up. Bates recovered. He's looking for one of them. Tried to get it in front, and both Tchaikovsky and Hunter were in front of the net. And they won't get the hat trick for the Islanders with a 7-2 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins to make it 3 out of 3 on home ice. And for Trent Hunter, his first 2 regular season goals in the NHL.
Well, he gets one more chance to try and get his 3rd. There he was, right there. Tchaikovsky going there also. And Orpik, the youngster, takes them both out of the play in the waning seconds. Hunter wants it. Tchaikovsky says, well, I wouldn't mind having another one too. But the story of this game was the Islanders' start to this game. They came out hard. They knew that they were going to play against a team that doesn't quit. And they were able to play that first period, come out of that first period with a 3-0 lead. Some great work. And then at that point, control the rest of the game.
They control it to the tune of 7-2 New York. All 3 of the stars of the game we're waiting for should very well be Islanders. Cairns going to be star number 3.
Well, he had to handle the physical part of the game.
The 3rd star for the New York Islanders, number 33, Eric Ayres.
He didn't score a goal, but physically, I mean, he had Mario Lemieux going after him. Bookberger, of course, Cairns doesn't back down.
Cairns wasn't through hitting for the net. Tchaikovsky, the 2nd star. Trent Hunter's going to be the 1st, but not before he took a little shove from Cairns.
Goals, number 7, Trent Hunter.
You know what's good about Hunter tonight, Joe, is that he had that goal in the playoffs against Toronto.
With Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins in town, and the New York Islanders did what they had to do. They got Trent Hunter going. That line was good all night. Justin Papineau, Jason Weimer, and Trent Hunter. Hunter got a couple. They got their defenseman going. Ninema got a goal, the first defenseman to score since that Atlanta game Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. We'll see some good defense, better, I'm sure, than we saw from the Penguins tonight, and they would be your New Jersey Devils and their defenseman coming off the Stanley Cup. Coming up next, it's bonus coverage. Washington State, Oregon State college football going on. Thanks to my guys Kevin Moninger and Larry Roth, Pete McEvely and Charlie Kuchera. For Howie Rose and Joe Micheletti, I'm Deb Coffin. Good night from the Coliseum. Islanders win big, 7-2.
Obviously, with the Devils in town, this is a pretty good test for you because you devised a system which largely emulates that which the Devils have made so successful. So how much do you want to strut your stuff tonight, given who you're playing?
Well, you'd like to put your best foot forward anytime, and certainly when you play the Stanley Cup champions, it's even a greater test. So it'll be a good measure for us to see how we're doing. We still have a way to go, but the progress has been pretty good so far.
Does your system mirror what the Devils do when they're doing it at their best, or are there some subtle differences?
No, you get different personnel, obviously. And we try to mirror what they do, but it isn't going to work out every night. And some, we do it a little bit differently with our F1 than they do. They jump a little more than we do. We sometimes are a little more patient. But more and more, it's as close to the New Jersey as we have with our personnel.
And one other thing to keep in mind tonight, the general manager of the New Jersey Devils, Lou Lamoriello, once hired Steve Stirling as his head coach at Providence College. So does this game mean a little extra to you just for that reason?
Well, of course. Yeah, Lou and I go back a long way, back to the mid-'80s when he was kind enough to give me a chance at Providence College, and we've kept in touch over the years, so it's special.
All right, now Deb Kaufman is working the crowd tonight, and she's got some questions for you too, Steve.
Right?
Deb?
We're going to start with a question from Matthew from Massapequa. What he wants to know, Coach, that 7 games in, is the coaching experience what you thought it would be?
Every bit, and maybe some. The biggest adjustment is the grind, and the night in and night out, and there's not a lot of time in between games. You're playing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and you don't get a lot done in practice in between, so the grind has been the biggest adjustment for me.
Practice days, Deb, are so precious to a coach, too, because you don't often get that many of them over the course of a season.
Let's go to this question. Steve from Flushing, and after all the practice and all the training camp, after a perfect preseason, how much of that is carrying over now into your start? They want to know.
Well, it's going to take some time. The obvious is that we came off a good camp. We were able to grasp a whole bunch of what we were trying to do, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take we think till January to fine-tune it, but so far, so good.
All right, Anthony from Farmingdale wants to know what you think about Mariusz Czerkawski's hot start.
I'm sorry, Deb, I didn't hear that.
Mariusz Czerkawski's hot start.
Well, we certainly knew when you score 30, 35 goals in this league, no matter when you do it, you've got some talent. And we're thrilled for Mariusz is thrilled to be back, as I think you know, and to get off to a good start. For his confidence to build it back up after struggling a year ago is real important for us.
All right, Phil from East Meadow wants to know what you think of the contribution all of your young kids are making. A lot of them you had in Bridgeport, and they're making contributions the last couple of games especially.
Well, it's nice to see. Obviously, I have a special vested interest. I spent time with them the last 2 or 3 years, so I have a good feeling all along that they were going to do fine. And some of it's me bringing them along slowly, that they haven't been able to contribute quite as much as we'd like. But certainly you saw a good glimpse the other night with Papineau and Hunter and Bergenheim and some of those, and I think it can only get better.
Pretty interesting goaltending matchup tonight, Steve, because you've got the master when it comes to handling the puck, among other things, Marty Brodeur and Rick DiPietro. How much of Brodeur in a perfect world is what Rick wants to do with the puck?
Well, I think that's the model. That's the end product, and Brodeur handles it well, obviously. But for me, the decisions he makes are even better. And Ricky may handle it better, as hard as it is to believe. But at a young age, the decisions aren't quite the same as Martin does.
That's the key, the decisions, right?
All right, well, here's a decision for you. One last thing from a fan, Seth in New Hyde Park. You know, fans always want to make their own line combinations. He wants to know if we're going to see the killer P line again, Pekka Parrish and Papineau. What do you think about that?
Well, it's always on my mind. They've had some success in the past. I think I'll stick with what I have for now, but knowing that the success they had sometimes a year ago and then 2 years ago real well, that it's something I know I could put together in a hurry, and I'm sure for a certain period of time they could be pretty good again. So I won't forget it.
All right, the Islanders come off of their big win on Saturday night here at the Coliseum against Pittsburgh. The Devils off of a loss on Saturday night at home against the Boston Bruins. And Steve, thanks so much for coming into Studio F.
Thanks for having me.
That's the Islanders head coach, Steve Stirling. Our thanks to Deb Kaufman as well for this segment of Behind the Bench. We will go inside the game when Geico Islanders game night continues in a moment. Any other New Jersey Devils team in the history of the franchise? No Ken Danico, who retired over the summer and one of the terrific people in this game. Here's a lead for Bates on a breakaway. Bates to the net, shoots, and Brodeur with a remarkable glove save, as though he were cherry picking on Sean Bates.
turnover. Remember we talked about keys to the game, turnovers in the neutral zone. It happens, and then the Devils get caught changing on the play. That left Kenny Janssen to find Bates. The quick shot. How about that glove save? Is that a thing of beauty? We mentioned how Brodeur can stop you so many different ways. Add the glove save to that repertoire. That was spectacular.
You're going to see a better glove save than that because that baby was going top shelf.
Yeah, he got everything on that shot, did Sean Bates. And how about the perfect pass? Kenny Janssen turnover and countering the other way quickly. That guy needed one too. Sean Bates needed a goal to get himself going.
Look at the bright side for Bates. He's got better blades now than he did earlier.
Yeah.
He leaned into that one, but Brodeur beat him. Sean Brown, number 2, winds it up the boards. And Igor Larionov can't get it away from Blake. So Blake pulls up along the boards and looks for help. Parrish for Pekka. Brown heads towards him. Blake to the puck. Blake turning on Tommy Albalin. Now for Pekka. Backhander. Brodeur got the stick out there. Blake again to Parrish, and Brodeur stopped that with his pads. And up the right side, that Saturday night loss to the Islanders here. And there's going to be a penalty to the Islanders right here.
Now this will be a tripping call, and so New Jersey will end up with the first power play. Hammerlich can't believe it. It almost looked like Elias, who went down on the play. Elias seemed to lose his footing on the play. Now Putinchon is getting called. Here's Elias with the speed. Let's see if the stick of Putinchon gets in the skates. Oh, not much. It was more his blades, his skates going out from under him more than anything.
2 minutes for tripping. That's number 52.
So 2 pretty good special teams here. The Devils 5th in the league on the power play. The Islanders 6th in the league on the penalty kill. And for New Jersey, Rafalski with Niedermeyer are the point men. Elias, Giunta, and Gomez up front. Di Pietro trying to work it up the boards. Got it into a pile of players, and Elias pries it loose. Janssen gets back to it. He got locked up. Niedermeyer, good pass to Rafalski, but his drive blocked by Kavasha. And here comes Bates, heading down the middle. Rafalski caught up to him. Bates keeps going. Now Niedermeyer got back to help out on Bates. Good effort there by Sean Bates. Gomez into the Islanders' zone. Hammerlich slapped it away from him. Giunta in there as well for New Jersey. Rafalski throws it at the net, knocked away, and now Pekka with an easy clear.
And how had it been just about any other defenseman in the league except for Scott Niedermeyer, Bates probably would have had a breakaway.
Niedermeyer still with that wonderful speed, even though he's in his 13th year now in the NHL. A feed on the left wing, and that shot sailed wide by Friesen. And that's as good as an Islander clear.
It was an effortless 2 strides to catch up to Sean Bates, who's got great speed.
Would you say Niedermeyer is not all that far behind Paul Coffey when it comes to grace?
Absolutely.
In his skating stride?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question.
Talk about Coffey, that's pretty much the standard bearer.
Yeah. And a very underrated defensive player is Scott Niedermeyer. One of the best in the game, but is more recognized for his skating ability.
Friesen down the middle, 16 to the Devils power play. Larionov, reeling, but Hammerlich got his stick on it. Good play by Roman Hammerlich. Into the corner they go. Final 7 of the New Jersey power play. Brylin has it. Yashin trying to lock him up along the boards. Brylin still working. So's Yashin. Alexei Yashin got it loose. Putinchon out of the box. Good penalty kill by the Islanders. Yashin surrounded. Let it go to Blake, and he wristed it wide. New Jersey did not register a shot during that power play. 5:40 to go in the first period with no score. Langenbrunner fans trying to get it across under harassment from O'Coin. Back the other way goes Yashin. Saw how quickly the Devils got back, 4 of them. But Cherkovsky works the corner. Gave it up to Madden, but look at the work of Yashin to get it loose. Trying to set up Ninema. Cairns backs him up and fires it into the corner. White and Kavasha cancel each other out. It's Langenbrunner, number 15, starting up the right wing for New Jersey. Eric Rasmussen turning away from Blake. There are a few of them, huh? A couple anyway.
Yeah, not many though. Not many.
Niedermeyer dumps it in. Crowd trying to pick up the Islanders, who trail 2-0 here with 6:20 gone in the third. Butenschon looks for Pekka. There's Big Rupp into the Islanders zone to Berglund. He was looking for a tip. However, Rasmussen was knocked down in pursuit. And Niedermeyer will come back to get it. Now Niedermeyer on right wing. Hammerlick and Berglund came together hard.
I think Hammerlick got hurt. Left arm or shoulder. He's gonna try and get off the ice.
Well, he's had shoulder problems before.
He's in pain.
And we'll check on Roman Hammerlick as we step out. 13:07 remaining in the third.
Andre Fleury, and they scored on him first. Short-handed, Sean Bates is his first of the year. It's the Islanders. And the Islanders were going backward. Penguins on the break. Rico Fata to Martin Straka. It was a 2-2 hockey game. The Penguins scored 4 straight. But the Islanders showed some grit and came back. Jason Blake beats a couple of guys for his third. And then less than 3 minutes later, Ole Kavasha takes the shot. Marius Tchaikovsky pots his 8th of the year. And the Islanders are headed for overtime 4-4. And that's where Marc-Andre Fleury was at his best. He didn't make huge saves in the overtime. Made 8 saves in all in the extra session. Michael Pekka had chances late. Steve Stirling was left shaking his head, but the Islanders will take the point. They get out of there with a 4-4 tie. Tchaikovsky got his 8th. Lemieux hit the milestone. And the Islanders got plenty of shots. They just couldn't bury a game winner. We asked